I'm not sure how much of this I can show without an automatic copyright strike on this. Okay, so He-Man, stop crying. It wasn't that bad. There were parts of it you probably liked. The thing was, if he was just honest about it, it would have been a whole different story. But he outright lied, and he picked a fight with some YouTubers, Clownfish TV, because they dared to say maybe that it wasn't quite as focused on He-Man as perhaps he led us to believe. Well, it turns out Clownfish TV was more right than wrong, and Kevin Smith, it's like when you've got 3 million people following you on Twitter. You got to be careful, like when you're dealing with people who they're doing YouTube as a whole full-time job. It's like like you can be nice to people when you're Mr. Big Movie Star. Anyway, but the short-haired, shaved side of the head thing for the women, stop that. That has been overused. That is trite, hackneyed, and just way overdone to show a rough, tough girl. It's like they think, again, focus. Everything is punk rock. Make the character do things. Don't just make them look like a rebel without a clue. The characters have to stand on their own. So call it like, I don't know, the Tila something show. Let it be known up front that it's her show, or at least the first season is going to focus on her. And don't lie about it, and don't pick fights with YouTubers. Stop making women look like men. Just, if you want to use men that badly, just use men. The muscular Tila, her muscularity was insane. No, even, yes, I realize it's a cartoon, but why would you make a woman look like a man? She no longer looks like a woman anymore. Women don't look like that. Not even professional bodybuilders look like that. Most people look at Tila and they're grossed out. She was way over muscled. And, you made her a little bit of a purse puppy, Mary Sue. And she had the shaved head. It's like, it's too much. We can't suspend our disbelief for everything. You got to pick your battles there. And then they turn Adam into a bottom who likes to take spankings, not give them. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm not judging. But that isn't the character. He goes to give Tila a hug, and she puts him in an arm bar. It's like a way to de-emasculate Adam, and it doesn't make any sense. They're friends. Yes, she knows it's him. Why would she flex like that? Because this is written by a committee of SJWs. She would have turned around, hugged him, and you should have had her spontaneously kiss him. And then he could have been embarrassed, or they could have both been embarrassed. It would have been a cute little scene. But all in all, the whole thing was not as bad as I expected. It probably wasn't as bad as you thought. But no, it wasn't He-Man. It was Tila and a bunch of women who they run around, they do some adventures, but mostly it worked. But it's not what his audience wanted, especially with what he said he led you to believe. If Kevin was just honest about it, the show would have done probably better. But he lied about it, and people are not exactly, the chads are outraged about strong women. No. People get worked up over 40-year-old cartoons. They're just not interested in anything more from Kevin Smith. So why did he lie? Maybe he's smoking so much that he twisted the show around in his mind that he kind of thought it was about Adam. And give him the benefit of the doubt. I assume that the second season will be Adam's side of the story. And I actually still think Kevin can save this in the second season. He's not completely an SJW. He still has a little spice in his soul that his succubus wife hasn't sucked out. In the last episode, they start to give Adam some depth. He picks his form in heaven, and he picks the more humble Adam form. I could see what they're going to do with that in the second episode or second season, or at least what they should do. They should give Tila a lesson in humility and grace and show that Adam is actually the more mature of the two, and he's their leader for a reason. And she'll discover that. And 20 years ago, it would be a slam dunk for Kevin Smith to pull this to knock the second season out of the park. Tila would learn to be humble because she misjudged Adam, and I could kind of see that is where I think Smith wants to take it. But can he do that in current year? If it was his show, yes, absolutely, he would. But it's not his show. He just works there with a committee that has an agenda. it would be freaking awesome if he pulled it off in season 2. He would blow everyone's mind, and I think he will. I've got faith in him. I don't think he's completely had his soul sucked out by his vampire wife just yet. In case you don't know, I'm laughing at her. She was a reporter that decided to sit on a fat man's face so that she could be in his movies, which she did a great job at. So credit to her for using her pussy to make some good films. I kind of think Kevin might be laughing to himself at how worked up he made everyone, because everyone is still going to watch season 2 and give the redemption arc a shot. And if he doesn't save it in season 2, fine, fair enough. But I kind of think he will. And yes, it was a girl power film, but it mostly worked. Tila was a bit hard to take, but I assume that is a setup for the second season to humble her a bit. The things that didn't work is the diversity, inclusion, compassion, and kindness. I personally think it's cancer, but soy people seem to love it, or at least say they love it. I don't know if they really do. It's a kingdom of Europeans and Africans and some space aliens. How does that work exactly? Why would different tribes mix but not mate? If they're all one people, they should all look like one people. But here you've got two broad classes that are mixed in geography, but they don't mate with each other to produce one people. That doesn't make sense, that they're together for a long time, but they still distinctly look separate. They should look like they belong together, one tribe. You don't have to put diversity in everything. It's just silly here. The whole story, yes, I know it's not politically correct in modern year, but the whole story is vaguely a European mythos. It's okay to just have them do their thing. It makes it feel more authentic if it's just they look like they're all Norse or English or whatever. Making Grayskull, oh yeah, spoilers. I mean, if you haven't seen it or gone sailing for it by now, it's like you can go find it. And it's well worth watching. I mean, I wouldn't, the question is like, would you go get Netflix to watch it? Oh God, no. No, it's not worth paying anything for. If you already have a Netflix subscription, or if you can get someone's password, then go get someone's, go borrow someone's Netflix to watch it. So they make Grayskull African. That doesn't make sense. Whose kingdom is it? And why is the other tribe there in the first place? You've got to at least make them a different kingdom, because it begs the question, if Europe and Africa are there, then where's everyone else? Like, all the other people from around the world are looking at this and goes, it's a weird mix you picked there. It's like just Norse people or Scandinavians and Africans. How did that happen? Nobody knows. Well, I mean, really, how it happens is it's current year, bigot. So the whole thing has this sort of European fantasy from about 1,000 years ago. That kind of vibe of sword and sorcery, Lord of the Rings. The next bit is a common trope: the rejection of the blood family for a found family propaganda. I see this all the time with globalists. It's pretty much Marxist cult brainwashing 101. Orko's, his family wasn't perfect, so he abandons them to form a new non-tribal blood family. It's what cults do. It's cringe. There is only your blood family and the extended genetic family. The people who try to sever those roots are evil. Orko sacrifices himself for his new friends. Lame. It's like C-3PO was looking at his friends for one last time. It's stupid. Nobody cares because they didn't set the story up to sell it. And before I forget, all the voice actors and the I almost said sets, the animation, all that was really solid. And it's like, was almost a good story. It's like you ran it through the PC filter and you just destroyed it, but all the pieces were there. And it's like you took the race car and you started making it tow a trailer, and you just kept adding more weights to it to meet current year political correctness algorithm. It's like, don't even bother. It's just sad to see a race car overheat like that. So Kevin Smith is doing this live stream. You can go watch, but he turned the comments off like a little bitch because he wants to stay in his echo chamber. He's saying that the Twitter reviews that he's seen come across his timeline. Yeah, because people are going to his timeline. They're probably fans of his. They're not just going there to speak a piece of his mind. They're probably going to other people's channels to talk about that. So he goes, "Oh, the stuff I'm seeing is 95% positive." But then he proceeds to talk about the 5% who didn't like it, which is kind of weird because the Rotten Tomatoes, I think, is at 30%. And his YouTube is at like, when I said this, it was like at 1,000 up and 1.8 thousand down. And I think now it's still about double, but it's growing. So he's trying to do what exactly? Convince people that it wasn't crap. He doesn't do a great job at fixing it, but at least he's not having a meltdown and insulting the audience. He's being very careful. He's trying to say that he did it the way he did because he wanted it to appeal to a bigger audience, which is absurd. Like, I don't even know if he believes that or if he's been in Hollywood so long that he has just been drinking the Kool-Aid. Like, we know what's up. It's not to appeal to a bigger audience. It's part of this Marxism. But he also hints that it's not his project and that there were a lot of fingers in the pie. So how much power did he have in making Tila look like a man? Who knows? I suspect if he wanted to make the women beautiful, long hair with boobs, like, you want to sexualize a cartoon? Yeah, lighten up, Francis. They probably wouldn't have accepted it. The power, the people who are calling the shots. The woke crowd is all about that shaved head and women who look like men. Kevin Smith has been around Hollywood a long time, or, Hollywood and Minnesota, but he's not exactly Spielberg. They put him on a project, but he's still following orders. Oh, he had the Orko voice actor on, who definitely looks like Orko sounds, a slimy little worm person, and I'm glad he got deleted in the film. Kevin got him as a co-host because he said the guy was local, and I really doubt that Sarah Michelle Gellar wants to leave her house to do a YouTube show with Kevin Smith to try to save some show. And like, everyone's gonna watch the second season, or at least they'll wait for people to talk about it. And if he doesn't save it, then you can hate him. But at least wait for the second season. I have my fingers crossed. I think he's going to pull it out. I don't think what's his wife's name? I don't think she sucked all the spark out of him just yet, though I suspect she's trying. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all next episode. And I hope Kevin doesn't strike me for using a bit of his show.